So how many people were offended by what Ryan Clark said about RG3? How many people think that what RG3 said about Angel Reese was just sportsman talk? Like, he would say that about any player, regardless of race, ethnicity. He was just talking. Okay. Well, let's discuss when I come back. Hello, thank you for showing up and checking out this video. Those who are returning supporters and subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's jump into this. I found out about this morning. It was an article that came into my email talking about what Ryan Clark said to RG3, Robert Griffin, I believe. And I know some people like, you know what, this was, why Ryan Clark didn't just stick to the script? Why didn't he just speak on what RG3 said in regards to another athlete instead of bringing the guy's personal life into it? I say this, maybe he was tired. Maybe he hears things off camera and when the mics are shut off that you don't hear, and he wanted to put it on blast. Maybe he hears how this guy talks in private, around people he's comfortable talking to, and Ryan don't like what he says, and he like, dude, I'm about to put you on blast because I'm tired of you talking this way about women who look like me and look like you. I don't know. We don't know why. We don't know why Ryan said what he said, but ain't no way in the world I'm gonna speak against him. You out your damn mind if you think I'm gonna speak against this man for speaking up and out for women who look like me. It's not enough of them doing that for whatever reason, personal reasons, business reasons. This country taught black men, I can't put it all on this country either, but some black men learned that in order to win, play the game and win, they had to be or align themselves with people who don't look like them. Unfortunately, that's how they thought. Until reality came in, it was like, it doesn't matter how many non-black women you marry or date. When push comes to shove, they're going to let you know that they still see you as a black man. So check out this situation that happened, and then I'm going to go into why I'm speaking on this. It's not just about what Ryan said to RG3. It's about a video I came across him saying that, touched my heart. But one day I was in Rouse. It's a major grocery store in Southern California, and I was looking for some avocados at that moment. So it was a black worker and it was a Hispanic worker, both males. I asked the black worker because he was closer to me. It wasn't even about color. It was just, can you help me out because I'm trying to get up out of the store. I was like, such as I can't remember if they didn't have many, or I don't remember what it was, what I asked him to help me about specifically, but I asked him and he was like, sure, you know what? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to help something he said about black people who look like him, or something he said he was going to do extra to help me out because I look like him. Right. I was like, okay, brother, man. So the Hispanic guy said, man, that sound racist. And my antennas went up. I looked, I said, huh? I was like, first of all, why does that sound racist? Because he declared out loud in public that he was going to help me because I look like him. I know some would be like, well, damn, that was racist. No, it's not. See, he's about to have me slip. That's not racism. Racism is the person who owns that company and who will only hire a particular group of people. That would be racism. Racism would be you charging me more because of the color of my skin. That's racism. But him saying that he's going to help me because I look like him, that's showing unity and community, which every group does. So that's what I said to the guy. I said, so why is that racism? First of all, I said it's not racism, but why would that be racism? Because he said he was going to help me because I look like him, when you guys do it all the time. You just don't have to announce it, but you do it. All he could do is just smile a little bit because he knew it was true, because every group does it. Every group does it. And if you say they don't, you're lying. But anyway, this is a clip that I discovered. I had been meaning to do this video on what Ryan Clark said a black woman looks to him or means to him a while ago, but I never did. Things kept coming up and I kept pushing it back. So this is a perfect opportunity to do this video and let you hear what he said. That, like I said, he has nothing but much respect for me. And if ESPN tries to fire him for being honest and saying how he feels, yeah, they need to be boycotted too. So check this out.
The first thing is, when you think about the two podcasters from the UK, is we don't know if the black experience there is the same as the black experience for African Americans or black people that grew up in America. I'm sure to be on this media tour in the US and to sit with Andrew Schultz was a big thing for them. I don't care if it was a big thing. And in addressing Andrew Schultz, who I do think is funny, who sits with Charlemagne and has some of these discussions about the culture, I believe he got too comfortable. So I would like to explain some things to him. I want to explain to him the black experience, the black woman experience from my point of view. It was watching my mother start from a bank teller and work her way up for decades to run her own collateral department, only to be mistreated when the bank was sold to another bank, and be so sick on Sunday that I finally had to say, hey, Mom, you're old enough to retire. It was to see her go to that same job, 8 to 5, to be treated anyway that she had to be treated because she only had a high school diploma, and then find ways to not only feed me, but do homework with me and my brother, take us to practice because my dad worked 3 jobs. That was the first black woman experience that I had. Right. The second black woman experience I had is marrying a black woman and watching her sleep on my cot as doctors try to figure out why I'm 140 pounds and I'm a 30-year-old man who was 205 pounds a month before that. Her telling me months after that she would just go in the bathroom and cry every night in the hospital because she didn't want me to worry about her because I was so sick. Right? For her to hold my family together so I could be in the household with my children when I was doing things and I wasn't shit. That's the black woman experience. The black woman experience is black women caring so much about the nuclear black family, black women taking care of young black men to teach them how to be leaders, to teach them how to be strong, to teach them how to care about their God, about their family, and it's about their communities. And to raise their young black women to be independent enough to take care of themselves, but to understand how to support a family, how to support a man, while also understanding how to get it on your own. That's the black woman experience.
So before anybody come in and start talking about how, single black mothers are, and they're the reasons behind their sons running in the street, acting a fool. First of all, let's talk about the parents, the household with 2 parents. Their children aren't always upstanding. And Amazing Lucas made a point. I was looking for the clip, but I couldn't find what video it was. I think it was a video I saw a couple of years ago, but he made an excellent point. He was talking about these blue collar white young men who come from a 2-parent home and later on discover that they were involved in some crazy crimes. But then you got these families that have resources and they can pay to have these things covered up. Meanwhile, just because he went to college and he was telling black women, I think he was directing it to black women, telling them not to be fooled by a person's pedigree. That just because they went to all the right schools and they live in the right communities and they have 2-parent household doesn't necessarily mean that person is an upstanding individual. They could be psycho. So, yeah. Okay, now listen to the rest of what Ryan Clark said.
That's the black woman experience that I know. The reason that black women are tough is because when you're mistreated in the way that black women are, if you're not tough, you just die off. You don't survive. That's the black woman experience. And the other piece of it is too, is something that I've learned, and I learned it from black women, is people feel so comfortable disrespecting them because we don't respect them publicly, right? White people for so long have used the excuse, why can't I say the N-word when you say that to yourselves or call yourself that or use that in your music, which is bullshit, right? Or white people have said, if you're using the B word, or they say if you're using the...
Now listening to those clips, you understand why Clark went so hard in the paint with what he said to RG3. It's like you're so comfortable speaking this way out loud in public against women who look like you too damn comfortable. And then when other people who don't look like you speak that way, what can you say? And you most likely ain't gonna say anything. Because look at what you say in public. You don't even have a decency. You don't even have a decency to speak that way in private. Why? What's up with some black men who are so comfortable putting down women who look like you? Do you not see that that is toxic and is a disease? And then my question to you, black women, the ones who are related to these men, the ones who gave birth to men who speak this way about you and women who look like you, what are you doing about it? Do you just ignore it and sweep it under the rug, making them think it's okay? And they still come around the holiday celebrations and birthday celebrations, and you act like it's normal the way he feels about you, bringing his other on his arm to your home, and he just spoke so recklessly about you and women who look like you. You guys need to stop embracing this and accepting it. Like, nah, this how you feel about me? You feel this way about me? So next time you need some help, you go to your preference. You're not going to be sitting here shitting on me, and yes, I said it, and then think you're going to run to me for help. No, it's not going to work that way. Okay, now listen to what Clark said to RG3 or whatever his name is. Check it out.
Because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, it now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what black women have to endure in this country, about what young black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom.
So far, what you heard, was he wrong in what he has observed? As I said, we don't know what this man has been privy to hear in the background, the things that we don't hear, the things that we don't see off camera. So I'm thinking he's basing it on his personal experience with this guy and things he's heard. You know what I'm saying? From this guy or people who said something to him about this guy. Even though I'm sure RG3 has experienced a lot of discrimination and a lot of crazy things throughout his athletic career, he knows what a black woman can go through something worse, or it could be better. Who knows? He still knows there are a lot of hurdles and obstacles that black folks have to deal with that other folks don't. You know? And then he's up there just so cool, speaking reckless about this woman. Have you even sat down and had a conversation with her? Or is it allowed that you sit down and have a conversation with a woman who looks like you? Let's go on.
No, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women.
If you didn't catch the end, he said you haven't been able to really, consider or talk about what black women in sports go through, because both marriages you were in were with white women, and it's very understandable that he would say that, because think about the private conversations he has with his wife. Now, who's to say he's not having that conversation with her, discussing what he hears and what he sees, how he sees black women being treated in sports? We don't know that. But think about it, really. Is he having that conversation at home with his white wife? Or is he only talking about things that are, closely associated and related to her and related to him as a man, as a black man? So he had every right to say that to me, because I feel like if you're going to get on national TV and in public and kind of like belittle or put down a black woman indirectly, and it seemed like, I believe he said something about something else he said in the past. He was basically RG3 was mocking Angela Reese, doing the neck movement and all that stuff. So he's basing his response, Clark is basing his response on how he has heard and seen RG3 mock and demean Angela Reese, or Angel Reese. I'm sorry, I think I said Angela Reese more than once. Angel Reese. So yeah. And like I said, I will not come against him, because he didn't. And then the guy came with a response, and he was like, what's his name, Robert Griffin or something like that. He came out talking about, you talked about my wife, you did that, you attacked my family. He didn't attack your family. He said that you were married to 2 white women. That's all he said. That when you have gotten married, you married white women. That's all he said. He didn't put the woman down. He didn't talk about the woman's personal life or background. He didn't put down their kids. All he said is you cannot relate, or you come off like you can't relate to what black women go through professionally in this country, because you have decided to live your life with women who don't look like you, who don't have the same experience that women who look like you have had. So now he coming on like, oh my God, there's no place for this. Where was the racism? Is Clark stopping this man's wife from working? Has Clark ever impeded in that guy's wife from living her life? No. So, okay, that's all I have to say about it. I'm not going to drag it on about it. That's all I have to say. I just wanted to play that first clip that I played that I've been sitting on for a few months. And I felt that, like I said, this was a perfect opportunity to play that clip, the first clips, along with this recent thing that happened, that took place with him. Okay, like I said, it's no racism here, because Clark doesn't have the power to stop anyone from living their life. 2, he voiced his opinion. He said what he said, just like RG3 says what he says. He has no filter. What they say, if it's too hot, stay out the kitchen. All right, deuces, I'm out.
They thinking they hot. Can I tell them they not? You not even on mark. I'm a lyricist block. You put him in front, my lyrics go dumb. The first in my class, never needed the front. You brag about whatever, I already got. The diamonds I rock, you beg niggas to cop. I get it myself, was born into wealth. Difference between us